Hey there, sci-fi lovers. Welcome to our channel, where the universe unfolds and the impossible becomes real. If you're as passionate about the unknown as we are, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us create more mind-bending adventures just for you.
The Buzzard Ship. The Buzzard, once known as SCR Aurora-317 Alpha, was crafted to vanish into the vast expanse of space. Its flat black hull absorbed light across the spectrum, from ultraviolet to infrared, making it almost undetectable against the starry void. With sharp, angular lines and a sleek, modern design, the Buzzard exuded a predatory presence, an appearance well suited to a ship with such a rich and storied history. Initially designated as SCR Aurora-317 Alpha, the ship was part of the salvage and collection rig fleet, equipped with advanced Bussard Ramjet hydrogen-fusing propulsion units. These engines allowed the ship to scoop and fuse hydrogen from space, enabling near-light-speed travel across vast interstellar distances. Although it was originally intended for long-haul missions and deep space exploration, the Buzzard had since been repurposed into a specialized scavenger and salvage vessel. Ian Blake, the ship's current captain, had spent the last 3 years aboard the Buzzard, navigating the desolate reaches of the Outer Rim. The ship's advanced stealth capabilities and versatile design made it an invaluable asset in these harsh environments. Despite its sleek exterior, the Buzzard was a workhorse, equipped with mechanical arms for gathering debris, spacious cargo bays for storing salvage, and plasma cutters for slicing through wreckage. Ian had grown accustomed to the ship's quirks, the way its engines hummed a little too loudly when pushed to their limits, the slight delay in the AI's responses during heavy computations, and the eerie silence that followed when the ship slipped into stealth mode. It wasn't the ship he had dreamed of commanding during his days at the Fleet Academy, but it had become a part of him, a reliable companion in the vast emptiness of space. Today, however, the routine monotony of Ian's work was shattered by an unexpected reading on the Buzzard's sensor array. A warp signature, close by. Ian's eyes narrowed as he stared at the display. Warp signatures were a rarity in this forgotten corner of the galaxy. The sudden presence of another ship, a ship in warp, was an anomaly that demanded his immediate attention. "Computer, activate external cameras," Ian ordered, his voice tinged with curiosity and caution. The ship's advanced AI complied instantly, bringing up a clear, high-definition image on the console. At first, there was only the vast emptiness of space. But then, something moved, a dark shape, almost imperceptible against the starry backdrop. "Magnify," Ian commanded. The camera zoomed in, and Ian's breath caught in his throat. The vessel was sleek and menacing, with a hull as black as the Buzzard's, but even more advanced. It moved with a silent, predatory grace, its engines emitting only the faintest trace of light. And emblazoned on its side was a symbol Ian recognized all too well, a crimson sun eclipsed by a black moon, the emblem of a fearsome fleet known for its ruthless tactics. Ian had heard rumors of this fleet during his time at the Academy, whispered stories about their unmatched speed, firepower, and stealth. They were said to appear out of nowhere, strike with devastating precision, and vanish before anyone could mount a proper defense. Seeing one of their vessels here, in the desolate Outer Rim, filled Ian with a sense of foreboding. "Computer, track that ship," Ian said, trying to keep his voice steady. Tracking initiated, the Buzzard's AI responded. The ship's external cameras locked onto the incoming vessel as it moved with incredible speed and purpose, heading directly toward something on the far side of the system. Ian tapped the console, bringing up the Buzzard's navigational charts. His heart sank as he realized what lay in the path of this menacing ship, the remnants of a Federation of Free Worlds battle group, still recovering from a recent skirmish. They were defenseless, vulnerable, and completely unaware of the threat hurtling toward them. The comm system crackled to life, interrupting his thoughts. A frantic voice filled the cabin. "This is Captain Rhea of the Federation frigate Resolute. We are under attack by hostile forces. Requesting immediate assistance." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving only the eerie silence of space. Ian's fingers hovered over the controls. The Buzzard was built for scavenging, not combat. It had no shields, no heavy weapons, just a couple of plasma cutters and a basic point defense system. He hesitated, the weight of the decision pressing down on him. He was just one man, in a ship designed to collect space junk, not fight battles. But he couldn't just sit here and do nothing. There were lives at stake, and Ian had never been one to turn his back on those in need. "Computer, plot an intercept course," he commanded, his voice firm despite the fear gnawing at his gut. "Course plotted," the AI replied. Ian pushed the Buzzard's engines to their limits. The ship surged forward, accelerating with surprising speed for a vessel of its size. The stars outside the cockpit stretched into lines as the Buzzard raced toward the besieged Federation fleet. Though it was designed for utility, the Buzzard's advanced Bussard Ramjet propulsion units enabled it to achieve near-light speeds, making it one of the fastest vessels in its class. As he closed in on the attacking ship, Ian could see flashes of light in the distance, missiles and energy blasts cutting through the darkness. The Resolute was fighting back, but it was outgunned and outmatched. The hostile vessel's point defense systems intercepted the Federation's attacks with ease, while its own weapons systematically tore through the frigate's defenses. Ian's mind raced as he considered his options. The Buzzard wasn't equipped for direct combat, but perhaps there was another way. He had seen the volatile debris fields that littered this sector, remnants of old battles and shattered ships. If he could use that to his advantage. He diverted power to the cargo bays, using the Buzzard's mechanical arms to gather as much of the volatile debris as he could find. His fingers flew over the controls, programming the cargo bay to jettison the debris at the exact moment he needed it. "Computer, arm the emergency plasma cutters," Ian instructed. "Plasma cutters armed," the AI confirmed. Ian took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest. He had only one chance to make this work. "Prepare to jettison cargo on my mark." The Resolute was taking heavy damage now, its hull breached, fires visible even from Ian's distance. The attacking ship was relentless, its attacks precise and deadly. But Ian was almost in position. Just a little closer. "Mark!" Ian shouted. The cargo bay doors opened, and the volatile debris was ejected into space. At the same time, Ian fired the plasma cutters, igniting the debris in a brilliant flash of light. The explosion rocked the Buzzard, sending it spinning off course, but Ian fought to stabilize the vessel, his hands gripping the controls with white-knuckled intensity. When the light faded, Ian could see that the hostile ship had been caught in the blast. It wasn't destroyed, but its shields were down, and its engines sputtered with damage. The Resolute seized the opportunity, unleashing a barrage of missiles that struck the weakened hull. For a moment, it seemed like they might actually win. Ian watched, barely daring to breathe, as the enemy ship reeled from the impact. But then, in a last, desperate move, the enemy ship fired one final volley. The missiles tore through the Resolute's hull, breaching its reactor core. Ian's heart sank as he watched the frigate's fate unfold in slow motion. The explosion that followed was blinding, a brilliant burst of light that consumed the Resolute and sent shockwaves rippling through space. The force of the blast rocked the Buzzard, and Ian had to fight to keep the ship steady. Debris flew past the cockpit, fragments of the Resolute and its crew, now lost to the void. Ian slumped back in his seat, staring at the wreckage in disbelief. He had tried to help, but it hadn't been enough. The enemy had won this battle, and the Resolute was gone. The hostile ship, though heavily damaged, limped away, its engines sputtering as it vanished into the darkness. For a long moment, Ian just sat there, his hands still gripping the controls, the reality of what had happened slowly sinking in. He had never imagined being caught in the middle of something like this. He was just a salvager, a man who scraped a living from the wreckage left behind by others. But now things were different. Ian knew he couldn't go back to the way things were. The galaxy needed people willing to stand up against these threats, no matter the odds. He had seen what they were capable of, and he couldn't just walk away. He had to do something. With a renewed sense of purpose, Ian set a course for the nearest Federation outpost. There was a story to tell, a warning to deliver. The enemy was out there, and they wouldn't stop until they had crushed all resistance. but Ian Blake would be ready for them. The Buzzard had more to offer than just scavenging. It was a ship with a history of innovation and resilience, and Ian would use every bit of it to fight back. As the Buzzard glided through the remnants of the battle, Ian couldn't help but reflect on how much had changed in just a few moments. The life he had known was gone, replaced by something far more dangerous, but also far more meaningful. This was only the beginning of a much larger fight. And so, the saga began.
Thank you so much for joining us on this cosmic journey. If you enjoyed the ride, please hit that subscribe button and share the adventure with others. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring you even more incredible stories. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the stars.